Alright, so let's talk politics, let's talk labels, let's talk buzzwords. Um, from childhood, a lot of us are it's pretty much brainwashing is what it is, to react a certain way to certain words when used in politics. For example, communism. When I say communism, probably 90% of you don't think of a political system, you think of the Soviet Union, you think of, US's enemy during the Cold War. Well, most of Europe's enemy during the Cold War, but you don't think of a political system. You think of the huge Soviet power. You think evil. You think this is, you think very negative things. Um, no, you don't think about a political system that at its core is actually a decent idea. It just doesn't work in the real world. Uh, that's not what you think, even though that's what it is. I mean, it still brings to thought a version of a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. But when you hear it, even though it's a thing, you're thinking a place because that's what's been drilled into you. Um, so there's all these buzzwords. Socialism, communism, capitalism. Republican, Democrat. All these different words that are drilled into your head. If you were raised in a Republican household, you were most likely drilled into your head to believe that Democrats are the bad guys, and vice versa. I mean, I was raised in a Republican household, and I was raised to think that that the Democrats were the bad guys. Um, and this is for a good portion of my life I did, because I was pretty much brainwashed. It's what it is. But I got past that, and I'm able to recognize that both sides have their merits, both sides have their inadequacies. But there's all these people who are brainwashed into believing these buzzwords. They hear these words and they have an automatic response in their brain, a predetermined thought pattern regarding these. You hear a Democrat hears Republican, they think bad guys. Republican hears Democrat, they think bad guys. These are just labels. Thing is, and there's all these people who, I mean, around this time, especially, new presidential election coming up. There's going to be all these people who are going to vote for a candidate just because they're a Republican. And there's going to be all these people who are going to vote for a candidate just because they're Democrat without doing an iota of research. Doesn't make any sense. It's not. And there's this stigma going around saying that, you have to vote for one or the other, otherwise it's a wasted vote. Every time, I've actually heard people insist to me that I'm wrong, that it's not a two-party system, and it's just so naive. I mean, yes, there are other parties, but the idea of one of them winning is just laughable because of this brainwashing, because people are brainwashed to mostly only believe in Republican ideology or Democrat ideology. These two extremist groups that will never ever be able to unite the nation. For example, I'm a Ron Paul supporter. He's running Republican, but in fact he is a independent. He's a libertarian. He's run as such back in the 80s. He ran in the Libertarian Party, and he didn't win because no third party ever wins because of this indoctrination. No one even acknowledges the third party candidates. And here he is running as one of the big tickets because he knows that's his only chance, and he just won my state, Maine. See, there's a big difference there. He runs third party, gets completely ignored, runs big party, he's already won a state, and he still stands a chance. Same ideologies, just a different label, different response. And, there's that stigma that I was talking about, where you need to vote for one of these big parties. You need to vote for the two actual candidates. That's not what this country was founded on. This country was founded on, freedom, voting for who you believe in. There is a write-in line on those ballots, and people are, they're said that, if you don't vote for one of these two, your vote is wasted. Most likely it is. No write-in's gonna ever win, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't vote for who you actually believe in. That doesn't mean you should actually settle. That doesn't mean that you should pick the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils is still evil. I mean, I'm a Ron Paul supporter. If Ron Paul is not nominated, I'm still going to write in Ron Paul because I don't support Obama. I don't support Mitt Romney. I'm not going to support someone that I don't believe in. I'm not going to settle. That's not what this country is about. Every year in the United States, 10,000 people write in Bugs Bunny because they're sick and tired of the bipartisan system. They're sick of it. And, that's their way of protesting. So I just tell people, look past these stupid labels. Do your research. Think for yourself. If you hear one of these buzzwords and you have an automatic response in your head, think to yourself, why am I thinking this? Is this my opinion? Or is this someone else's opinion that was drilled into my head as a child? That's just what I ask people to do. Just think for yourself. Don't let other people think for you. Think for yourself. Be true to yourself. Vote for who you believe in, not for who some random delegates have chosen to be on a ballot. Vote for who you believe in. That's pretty much all I have to say on that.